Oh, hello, it's me, Nick, and this is The Come Up. How are you doing? I am so excited for you here tonight for this episode of The Come Up, very special episode of The Come Up. I have two incredible music artists on tonight, and as you can see and probably hear, I'm in the midst of a move. I am moving, and so things are a little more hectic than I assumed they might be in my space and all those things with technology and whatnot. So I have recorded two very special interviews for you, and I also have two amazing performances from two incredible artists. We have Mariah Gambeaux, aka Gambeaux, followed by an interview with Natalie Hanson, aka Facade Queen. I really hope that you enjoy these two artists and get into their music. Follow them. All their info is in the information above on the episode. But yeah, go ahead, like, subscribe, follow these artists, sit back and relax and enjoy this performance of I Love You by Gambeaux.
Feels like silk when I'm kissing your lips. Can we take a trip? Can we ride a stone? Wanna rise an alleyway, kinda like a hideaway. So it's here where you need the vibes don't grow. And I sense vibrations, not from the stations. Didn't wanna stay, cause it's the way we get real close. Heartbeats and sheets like a rose. I love you like I never knew what it was before. I love you like I never knew what it was before. I love you like I never knew what it was before. Now I'm wanting more, knock on my door, you know that I'm sure. I love you, yeah, I love you. I touch you so much, you make one come true. Touch me right there for me, baby, don't make my ass twice, make me go crazy. Touch me right there for me, baby, don't make my ass sweat. Hey, touch me right there for me, baby, don't make my ass twice, make me go crazy. I love you like I never knew what it was before. I love you like I never knew what it was before. I love you like I never knew what it was before. Now I know like on my door, you know that I'm sure. I love you, yeah, I love you. I touch you so much, you make one come true. Touch me right there for me, baby, don't make me ask twice, just let me go crazy. Kiss me right there for me, baby, don't make me ask twice, make me ask twice. Touch me right there for me, baby, don't make me ask twice, just let me go crazy. Kiss me right there for me, baby, don't make me ask twice, make me ask twice. Yeah. I love you. I love you.
So yes, Mariah Gambeaux, aka Gambeaux, here to kick it today. What? Tell us about that song we just heard.
That song you just heard is called I Love You. It will be on my upcoming EP that's also called Mood Magenta. It's a song that like is super old at this point. Because I've been working on my EP for like about 2.5, going on 3 years right now. So yeah, that song is it's an oldie but a goodie. So I think it's about time that like I let the public hear it.
So, okay, for the people that don't understand fully, what is the difference between an EP and a full album? Like, what? Because there are like some technical things, but like, what's the difference? Like, because people are like, oh, that's an album. And they're like, well, what does that mean?
Girl, I really don't even know. I mean, I know EP stands for now. This will be documented, so I could be wrong, but extended, extended playlist.
Oh,
Um,
that makes sense.
yeah. So what I get from that, from a creative standpoint, is that like an EP is more kind of the songs can have a theme, they can have a direction, they can have a vision and a goal that you want the audience to hear, but like that's more so for an album. An album is like a finely crafted a project of songs and interludes. It can be even some monologues and things like that, something that's a little more deeper in the theme that you want people to get from it. That's
Gotcha.
what I take from that. And an EP is kind of like a junior version of
Yeah,
the songs don't always have to correlate. It can just be like a collection of items that you want to release.
I love that. That's it. She said it, so that's the reason. Take me there. So I'm gonna come up. um, so music is such a powerful tool. We love to hear it, and I admire folks that can like make music and then give it as a video. And I feel like I can always do like one part of it at a time, and then be like, okay, I'm moving on to the next thing. So like, what? Talk about yourself as an artist. Like, what? How did you find music, or how did music find you? And what is it like to keep exploring and growing as you make music?
What's so deep? How did you define me? Um, I would say that I've been musical since I could literally open my mouth and like sing probably. I remember like putting on Disney princess dresses and trying to perform for my mom and my grandma like in their living room, like parading around and like listening to me sing, probably very off key. Um,
No, you were getting it. You were feeling it.
yeah, I was probably a little baby Beyonce back then. And I still am now. I'm constantly singing all the time. Whether it sounds good or not, I feel just the need to like express myself through music. And I don't know. I started out writing poetry as a very young age, and that kind of morphed into singing. And then I got into guitar lessons, and then vocal lessons from there, and then musical theater, which turned into opera, which turned into um, performing arts schools and programs. And from then on, it just became history.
Right?
Hopefully, one day I'll be famous and pay off my student loans.
Right? Because it keeps happening. This thing just like bites you and like just takes you on this ride that you don't even know you're going on. And I think that piece you're talking like at the end, like the musical theater to the opera, like the story. And I mean, and you were a poet already, so you were already telling stories. I think that that's the piece. Like, nowadays people are like, oh, like it's so hard for like an artist to like grab. And I'm like, well, that's one because there's a lot of noise. There are a lot of people making music, a lot of stuff happening. But the artists that I gravitate to, like, have a story to tell, like, like taking me on a journey, and that's the piece. I feel like so much music, a lot of the noise is missing is like that story.
Yeah, like I like part of the reason why it's taken me so long to make a full project is like that project is completely personal for me. Like one of the songs on the project is like I'm telling a story about the first time being in love, And the original demo track that I wanted to just put the demo out. I like had broken up with my college boyfriend for like what I felt was the last time, because we were on and off, and like I just recorded myself just singing how I was feeling and playing the piano. And at the end I started bursting out like crying, and I had a snippet of that still in the audio recording, and I really just wanted to just release that because it's a part of the story. um, and I'm not releasing that version anymore because it's a lot of noise in the background and really hard to mix. But
For sure.
uh, that whole it's like that whole project is just about like love in all aspects. So um, I think it's like you're saying, like the story is important, and it's okay to not have a story sometimes. It's okay to want to turn on sometimes, but I think a story is important because, like you said, there's a lot of people putting music out. There's something that has to be personal to you.
Yeah, I know me. Like, I've always been a very gay child, and so there are a number of albums I can point to, like Brandy's Human, Kelly Rowland's Miss Thing, or was it Miss Kelly Rowland? I don't know. Miss Thing was that's Monica. But there are all these albums that I have that I made stories to. Like I was like, oh, this is what happens here, and then this next piece happens here, and I'm sure they weren't thinking about their thing like in a chronological order, but like that's what I always did because that's what my mind did. Do you think that that's like kind of, oh, this might be one of those trick questions I said wasn't coming? I don't think it's a trick, but like I'm a philosophy minor, so sometimes I ask ridiculously deep questions. So I apologize if this is.
I like that though.
So you said it's difficult to kind of like it's very personal. So like working on your album has taken longer. Do you think that in some ways you're like as a story driven poet, musical theater, opera person, are you trying to build that story for yourself and the audience? And like, do you think that that's part of the journey that you're on?
Oh, yeah. I think that's such a delicious question. I feel like I know that's a weird way to describe it, but like,
I love it. We love delicious questions here.
yeah, I think so. Um, when I was like making the EP when like my last year of college, I started to realize that like all of these songs came together. And I think like I do want that to be in kind of a chronological order, even though it may seem out of order, just because that's the way like my life has happened. It seems like it's going in one way, and then something just completely just changes, and then it goes a different way. So I think that is probably gonna reflect in like the way I put the songs, like the song order, like how you open an album and end an album. So I think that's super important. Like who's that artist? I can't remember. Oh, Maxwell. Like his
Right.
Urban Suite album. It kind of ends with like a very instrumental, like he does a couple instrumental renditions of his songs from before in the album, and I think that's so beautiful because it like just ends on a note with like there's no lyrics. You can kind of paint your own story to like how it ends.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, we love that. Yes. Come on, paint your own story. Um, okay, so your name, where did the name Gambeaux come from?
Yeah, and thank you for correctly pronouncing it because
I'm
man,
studied.
man,
Listen, we I am a studied, learned human. I have class. I know that that's beau.
thank somebody knows French, like, and it's not French, but I wanted the pronunciation to be that way, and I didn't want to. It's my last name, basically, just spelled artistically. Um, it's my last name, kind of inconspicuous. I wanted it to be personal to me, but I wanted it to also like have that kind of like androgynous feel. Kind of don't know, like when you see it on paper or online, you don't really know if I'm a woman or a man or non-binary until I open my mouth and I sing, or you see a picture of me. And I wanted that to kind of reflect in my music. I didn't want it to just be Mariah. because there's already a Mariah, and I like can't really hold a candle to that Mariah. So
How was that attitude?
I mean, you're right, but I mean, I could be like her protege. I feel like,
Okay,
but
yeah.
because she's one of my favorite artists. But yeah, I just wanted it to be personal, but still be artistic. It used to be my Instagram name way back when, and I was like, that actually works. So yeah, thus it became me.
I love it. I think your music is super dope and fun, and your energy, like you give the energy that your music gives. Like in talking to you, which is like super dope. And I was talking to Natalie, and when I was like, I want to do an event, like I just want to have musicians, and like I want to play some of your music, like who's an artist that you would, and she was like, oh, I know exactly who. So like I'm so happy that she brought you up and that I got to meet you through that, and keep doing and being you, because you is great. I feel it. The vibes are coming.
What's Natalie?
Yes, she's on next. Ah. So yes, Gambeaux, everyone. Where can we listen to your stuff? What do you got coming up and cooking for us?
So you can stream. I have some singles out right now. Some of which that I just released recently. You can find me on all streaming platforms. That's SoundCloud, YouTube, Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music, um, and Instagram, Facebook. I do have an artist page for my Facebook. Yeah, literally it's Gambeaux, spelled Gambeaux on literally any platform that you can find me on. Um, Look that up and I'll be there. It's the same at name on everything. So yeah.
Look it up and I'll be there. You need to make a T-shirt that says that. Gambeaux, look it up and I'll be there.
At me.
Yes. Thanks so much for being here. It was so great to talk to you.
Thank you for having me. And I really enjoyed this. This is great. I'm so happy to see that like this is the thing that you're doing. Because I went back and watched some of your other episodes and they were really cool too. So it's really nice to like shout out to Natalie for like really connecting this and like having us find each other. Because I'm
Yes.
a fan of the podcast as well.
Yay! Good. We love fans of the podcast. Well, thank you so much. Listen to Gambeaux, stream it, buy it, where you can find music, and follow her on Instagram. Hit that follow.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I am in Omaha doing my theater stuff.
That's fun. I mean, so you're making a show in the time of COVID. What has that been like?
Well, first, it's just the Rose is amazing. They truly they're so in tune with like what's going on in the community. So we've been like honestly, the last 2 weeks we've been on Zoom. Like we were in person the first week, and then with all the COVID cases, we transitioned to Zoom, which seemed like it would have been really stressful, but it's actually been navigating really nicely. And we're slated to go in person today again for the first time in like 2 weeks. So it's been interesting kind of like blocking a show that's so involved over Zoom. But it's really exciting. Like we're excited to like get back in the space and see what we can do.
And it's a great cast. A lot of people, a lot of folks of color, a lot of diversity in age. That's I'm a big champion of the Rose, always have been, because that's the work they're doing. And even in these times where in Chicago, if anyone tries to do a show, as you know, riots in the streets. So like it's a little like the cognitive dissonance for me is a little odd, but like I do I've heard nothing but positive things about the way that things have been happening, and there have been no COVID cases in any rehearsal rooms, and no audience members have so like I have to applaud the Rose for opening in a pretty safe way and really canceling shows if they need to, or canceling rehearsal. And yeah.
And what I'm super excited about is that like our goal right now is just to film it, to get it filmed. And then if literally all the shows get canceled, that's fine, because people can still watch it. And like it's not about like yes, it'd be nice to have an audience, but if it's not safe, like it's not it's not happening. And everyone is on board with that. And like, we're gonna wear masks during the show, and it's cool to be in the room so I can tell other people about the experience.
For sure. Well, not only are you an amazing actor and dancer, but you're a singer as well. And let me tell you, Natalie Hanson, aka Facade Queen, I have just loved your music. You know, one of my favorite things about this pandemic is that so many people have had to like reach in and unlock whatever artistry they've been like burying or like not allowing themselves to go into. Um, Talk a little bit about that. Your experience of like finding your music voice and making music. Like how has that been for you?
It's been wild. It's been really fun. I just so I want to preface, like, a lot of, like, obviously I'm trained in musical theater, but a lot of the music that I listen to in my personal like life is like alternative and sort of like not music that I ever thought that I could sing or like be good at singing, because
That's the Pacific Northwest in you. That's just like sitting in you, waiting to be an indie like vibe.
exactly. But things just happen really fast. Like, for about the first 4 months of quarantine, I tried doing all of my like usual creative outlets, like painting, or just like, I had my ukulele already, so I would just like do covers of songs like in my room. But I couldn't create anything, and I've tried to write songs for like years and years and years. I could never write a song. And honestly, I just sat down one day, and my first song that I wrote just kind of came out of me. And I didn't have any equipment. Like, I was quarantining in Seattle, and I just had like my ukulele and my iPhone like what are those called? Headphones, yeah.
Headphones, yeah.
Yeah. And I just recorded it like a really crappy quality, like just me and my ukulele, and then edited it on like the GarageBand on my phone. And I was like, I'm just gonna release it out there and like see what happens. And people seem to really like it. And then like a week later, I flew back to Chicago, and I was like, okay, I need to get equipment. Like, I just felt this like energy coming out, like, okay, something's gonna happen. And so once I bought the equipment, I realized just how much more I could do. It's like, it was just playing with like process of creating songs, which was really fun. And I wrote all the songs and released them all in 2 months, which is kind of crazy.
It was
I know.
wild. You were just cranking stuff out. And like people say the same thing about me. They're like, you're just cranking stuff out. And I also like have had a couple of songs just fall out of my face and like that stuff. So I feel
Yeah.
that. I feel that. There's something about this moment that is just like fueled that creative thing. Because I was in a similar place where I was like, I'll never be able to write. Like I don't write things. My lyrics are stupid. Like it's not a thing. But you're right. Like something just happens, and then words come out of your mouth, and then you hear a melody, and you do the thing. And I love your music. It's so great. It's so great.
Yeah.
So for James, the
Yes.
dance piece that you created, tell us a little bit about that song, and then the piece that was created out of that for TBD.
Totally. So I first of all, I have been a huge fan of TBD and their movement in Omaha. And so when I saw that they were doing like this call for choreographers, I was like, yes, like I want this so badly. And I didn't have really an idea for a piece. I was kind of like, this is how I usually choreograph, and that's kind of what I pitched to them. I knew I wanted to use one of my songs, but I didn't have For James written when I like
Oh wow.
applied and was accepted. So like the day after I found out that I got it, I was like looking through all the songs, because I also knew that there was a potential like possibility that I would have to come to Omaha like right after that like the due date for my piece. So I was like, oh, I need to get stuff going like really quickly.
Right.
And I just kept thinking about Omaha and what happened. And so, yeah, the song, and I used, her name's Jenny Heineman. I used part of her speech in my song, and that was kind of the motivation for the song, because I found her speech really powerful, and like a lot of what she said, I feel like really spoke to white America. It was kind of a way to like use that as leverage to not, like, I think it put the focus where it needed to be put in that moment. So yeah, I just sat down and did the thing, and I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really bizarre. Like, my process for writing songs is very sporadic. I'd say, like, sometimes I just start with a ukulele kind of like riff, add it, and then like layer it, and then do lyrics. And other times I'll start with like vocal riffs and then add lyrics. But it's never like, I never hear a melody. It's usually I start with like a riff of something and then find words and melody to go on top of it.
Oh, interesting. Nice. Ow! She's so cool. So Circus Game. We're gonna see a performance of Circus Game that you've prepared for us. Tell us a little bit about what we're about to see.
Well, this is one song that I experimented with creating more of a poppy sound on the album, but the more I like play the song acoustically, the more I enjoy it acoustically. And so I wanted to like just show a different side of the song. And a lot of my songs are about, I'd say, just men that I've dealt with.
You're a songwriter, darling. You're a songwriter. That's
So original. Who would thought?
I love it. Well, Natalie, thank you for taking time to talk with me in your very busy, active artist life. It's just I love to see this like bloom that you're having in the haircut. Like, it gives me everything I've ever needed. You're so wonderful and talented. Thank you for sharing your music and your art with us. Like, it's a pleasure, and I'm so happy I got to talk to you.
Thank you. You too.
So, folks, sit back and enjoy this acoustic performance of Natalie Hanson, aka Facade Queen's Circus Game.
So you wanna talk, why now? You wanna see my face, reminisce of all the ways we clowned around. But I've washed my face of the makeup I wore those days. So, do you really wanna talk, I'm not here to play your circus game. Not today, I'm not putting on a happy face. No way, I never really felt it anyway. What made you come around? We both know you don't live in this part of town. So tell me why you're really here. 'Cause I've washed my face of the makeup I wore those days. So, do you really wanna talk? I'm not here to play your circus games. Not today. I
Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this show and those two incredible performances from those two amazing artists you should be on the lookout for. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook right now. Go listen to them on Spotify and Apple Music, wherever you find your music. Gambeaux, Gambeaux, and Facade Queen. So excited they were here. Want to give a quick shout out to my sponsors. Thank you so much. You're on this side. Thank you so much. Love you for your contribution to the show and this work. Hey, folks, one more episode for you before I take a little break until the end of December. We are going to be having The Mix, an incredible show. The executive producer is Tamika Tiny Harris, who is an incredible artist who was in some R&B group back in the day. She has assembled an incredible group of Black millennials for a new talk show on a new streaming platform called Fox Soul TV. FoxSoul.tv is a predominantly Black network, and I'm super excited to feature them on the show next week. So, one more episode before break. Love you for being here. See you next time on The Come Up.